What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into some of the most chaotic corners of Reddit. We've got brides who think they're CEOs, bosses who clearly missed the common sense meeting, and neighbors who think your property is a public park. Before we start, let me know in the comments, what's the craziest thing a friend has ever asked you to do? Because today's first story sets the bar pretty high. Let's get into it. Alright, let us dive into one of the wildest Am I the Asshole stories I have ever seen. This one is going to make your jaw drop. The title is, Am I the Asshole for Quitting My Best Friend's Wedding 2 days before the ceremony because she tried to make me work as staff? I, a 26-year-old female, have been best friends with Sarah since we were in high school together. When she got engaged, she immediately asked me to be her maid of honor. I was so excited. I mean, it's a huge honor, right? I started planning the bridal shower, looking up bachelorette party ideas, the whole 9 yards. But then, something shifted. The moment that ring was on her finger, Sarah turned into a total, full-blown Bridezilla. I'm talking next-level stuff. It started with small things, like criticizing the color suggestions for the bridesmaids' dresses. Even though she asked for our input, then it got more intense. She insisted we all use a specific, incredibly expensive makeup artist and hairstylist that none of us could really afford. The demands just kept piling up, and it felt like my role was less about celebrating her and more about just following a long list of expensive orders. But the moment I knew we were in real trouble was when she sat us all down and demanded that the entire bridal party chip in to pay for her $5,000 wedding gown. Her reasoning? It's a memory we all share? Hold on. A memory we all share? Sarah, honey, the only memory I am sharing with that dress is the debt it's putting into my bank account. Seriously, you want me to help pay for your dress? The one you're going to wear for 8 hours, and then probably stick in a closet for the rest of your life? That's not a shared memory. That's just you outsourcing your bills to your friends. The audacity starts early with this one, guys. This was a massive red flag, bigger than the train on that $5,000 dress she wanted us to buy. I and a few of the other bridesmaids politely refused, explaining that it was completely outside our budget and, frankly, not our responsibility. Sarah threw a fit, called us unsupportive, but eventually dropped it, or so I thought. This was just the beginning of her master plan to make us pay one way or another. Fast forward through months of tension, expensive outings, and passive-aggressive group chats. We finally made it to the rehearsal dinner just 2 days before the wedding. I was exhausted but thought, okay, we're at the finish line. I can survive this. I was actually looking forward to the dinner, hoping we could finally just relax and celebrate. But when I arrived, Sarah pulled me aside with this weirdly serious look on her face. She wasn't smiling. Instead, she handed me a laminated piece of paper. It was a literal schedule, for me, for the wedding day. I scanned the document, and my heart just sank. My name was at the top, but it didn't list anything like walk down the aisle or give a toast. No, my schedule had timestamps and duties. I wasn't going to be sitting at the head table with the rest of the bridal party. My name was listed next to tasks like 7 p.m., assist catering staff with serving entrees. 8:30 p.m., clear empty plates and glasses from guest tables. 9:45 p.m., collect and dispose of trash from reception hall. 11 p.m., manage the DJ playlist for the last hour. I looked up at her, completely stunned, and I couldn't even form a sentence. She saw the confusion on my face and just smiled, a really cold, tight-lipped smile, and said, "Since you couldn't contribute financially to the dress, I thought you could contribute your labor instead. It'll help us save on staffing costs. You're still the maid of honor, of course. You're just working it. What is this, a 90s fashion show or a wedding? Vogue, Sarah? Vogue? No, honey. Congratulations on your promotion from best friend to unpaid janitor? No. I honestly can't believe people think this is okay." She really thought she was being clever. Like, oh, you won't give me money? Fine, you'll give me sweat equity. Imagine putting on a beautiful dress that you paid hundreds of dollars for, getting your hair and makeup done, all to haul trash bags in front of your ex-classmates and distant family members. This wasn't a wedding. She had turned it into a business transaction where her friends were the unpaid interns. The disrespect was just staggering. I was supposed to be her closest friend, standing by her side, and she had literally demoted me to the help. So, I stood there for a second, holding this ridiculous schedule. I looked at her, and then I looked at the schedule again. All the stress, all the frustration from the past few months just boiled over. I took a deep breath and said, "Sarah, I quit." She just stared at me. "Quit what?" she asked. "I quit being your maid of honor. I quit being your bridesmaid. I quit this wedding." I handed the schedule back to her and told her if she needed a waitress and a janitor, she should hire them. Friends are supposed to be guests of honor, not free labor. Then, I turned around and walked right out of that rehearsal dinner. Her mom tried to stop me, but I just kept walking. I went home, blocked her number, and booked a spa day for the day of the wedding. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for leaving my best friend high and dry 2 days before her wedding? Let's see what the internet had to say about this, because Reddit did not hold back. The comments section on this was an absolute gold mine, user one says. NTA, not the asshole. A maid of honor is a title of respect, not a job description for a catering waiter. Her solution was insulting and demeaning. You did the right thing. Yeah, I completely agree. The title implies honor, not servitude, user 2 added. If she wants staff, she should hire staff. You're a guest, not a line item in her budget. She tried to punish you for not giving her money for her dress. Good for you for standing up for yourself. This one hits the nail on the head. She was literally using the wedding budget as a weapon against her own friends. And my absolute favorite comment, the one that gives me life, "Please tell me you left the trash on the floor. I need that closure. You and me both, buddy." While she didn't literally leave trash on the floor, walking out was the emotional equivalent of dropping the mic in a bag of garbage on the way out. Another one pointed out. The fact that she had a laminated schedule ready for you means this wasn't a last-minute idea. This was a premeditated act of disrespect. She planned to humiliate you. That is so true. The lamination is what gets me. She went to a copy shop for this. She put effort into this insult. That's a level of petty that is almost admirable, almost personally. I would have left right then and there, no question. There's no coming back from that level of disrespect. If you treat your friends like employees, don't be surprised when they go on strike and file for friendship unemployment. Your wedding day is supposed to be about celebrating love with the people who love you, not exploiting them because they couldn't afford your $5,000 dress. That friendship was already over the moment she handed you that laminated chore chart. You didn't end the friendship. You just formally acknowledged its death. But what do you guys think? Was she too harsh for leaving 2 days before the wedding? Should she have sucked it up for the sake of their long friendship? Or did Sarah the Bridezilla get exactly what she deserved? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your takes on this one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Alright, gather round, because today we are diving headfirst into the glorious, dramatic, and sometimes absolutely insane world of our Just No Mill. You think you've heard bad mother-in-law stories? Oh, just you wait. This next one is a classic. We've all heard of monster-in-laws, but this one takes the cake. Rather, she tries to take the whole wedding. Let's get into it. Story starts. My mother-in-law, let's call her Pam, has always been competitive. For as long as I've known her, she's had this weird one-sided rivalry with me. It was mostly small things at first, like boasting she could run a mile faster, or that her lasagna recipe was more authentic. I always just laughed it off. But when I got engaged, it escalated. She literally looked me in the eye and said, "Oh, I've always looked better in white than you." I thought she was joking. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. Okay, let's pause here. Red flag number 1. Who says that to their future daughter-in-law? That's not just competitive. That's a declaration of war. It's like she's marking her territory, and the territory is the color white. That's a level of audacity I can't even comprehend. It's so bizarre. It's not just a passing comment. It's a seed of chaos being planted. You just know, you feel it in your bones, that this seed is going to grow into a massive, drama-filled tree. The story continues. The wedding planning was a nightmare. She questioned every single one of my choices. The flowers weren't elegant enough. The venue was too modern. The catering was too exotic. It was exhausting, but the dress was my breaking point. 2 weeks before the wedding, my sister, who was also my maid of honor, called me in a panic. She was at the mall and saw Pam at a high-end boutique. And what was Pam trying on? A gown that was, you guessed it, pure white, floor-length, and covered in lace. Basically a wedding dress. My sister even sent me a picture, and my jaw hit the floor. It was more bridal than my actual wedding dress. Can we just appreciate the sister for a moment? The stealthy photo, the panicked call, that's a top-tier maid of honor right there. But seriously, this isn't just a white sundress for a summer event. This is a full-blown, say dash yes, dash to dash the dash dress, walk dash down dash the dash aisle gown. This is a deliberate, calculated move. There's no way you accidentally buy a wedding dress for your son's wedding. That's not a thing. You don't just stumble into a bridal section and think, oh, this nice white gown would be perfect for a guest. So what happens next? When my fiancé confronted her, she burst into tears. She claimed it was pale champagne, and that we were bullying an old woman who just wanted to look nice for her son's big day. She wailed about how ungrateful we were and how she was just trying to feel beautiful. Pale champagne? Pam, please? Unless that champagne was left in the freezer for 10 years and turned into a block of white ice, you're lying. This is textbook gaslighting. The crocodile tears, the victim card, calling a legitimate concern bullying. The manipulation is strong with this one, guys. She's not just trying to wear a white dress. She's trying to rewrite reality to make herself the victim. Bullying an old woman? No, you're calling out a grown adult for attempting to upstage the bride at her own wedding. It's incredible. So the bride-to-be is in a tough spot. I knew she was going to wear it. Arguing was pointless. She would just cry and manipulate my fiancés and make me look like the bad guy. So, I didn't argue. I smiled sweetly and told her she'd look lovely. But behind the scenes, I was plotting. I gathered my bridesmaids for an emergency meeting and gave them a code red mission. I told them, if Pam shows up in that white dress, you have my full permission to be clumsy. Very, very clumsy, especially around the red wine bar. This is where our hero goes from victim to tactical genius. I love this. She recognized that fighting Pam directly was a losing battle. Pam feeds on direct confrontation. So instead, our bride decides to play chess, not checkers. She activated her special ops team, the bridesmaids. This is brilliant. She's not telling them to do anything malicious. Just, be a little less graceful than usual. It's plausible deniability at its finest. This is the kind of strategic thinking that wins wars. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. The wedding day. Sure enough, the ceremony was beautiful, and I almost forgot about the impending drama. Then came the cocktail hour.
Ow.
And in walks Pam. She was glowing, swanning around the room in her brilliant white gown, looking for all the world like she was the one getting married. She was soaking up the attention, lapping up the confused looks from guests. My maid of honor, bless her soul, didn't even wait 5 minutes. She locked eyes with me from across the room, gave me a tiny nod, and then went into action. She tripped while carrying a full glass of the darkest Cabernet Sauvignon I've ever seen. It flew through the air in what felt like slow motion and hit Pam's dress like a heat-seeking missile. Boom. Target acquired. Target neutralized. Can you even imagine the scene? The collective gasp in that room? A red wine on white lace? That's not a stain. That's a crime scene. That is modern art. Jackson Pollock would be proud. I just love the absolute dedication of the bridesmaid. That's a real friend. That is a ride or die. Will dash spill dash wine dash on dash your dash monster dash in-law kind of friend. She didn't hesitate. She saw the signal and executed the mission flawlessly. We salute you, anonymous, maid of honor. The aftermath is just as delicious. Pam shrieked.
Ouch.
The entire front of her dress was drenched in deep, dark red. People rushed over to help, dabbing it with club soda, which of course only smeared it into a giant, ugly, pinkish-purple blotch. She spent the rest of the reception locked in the bathroom, crying. My fiancés felt a little bad for her, but even he admitted she had it coming. I've never seen my bridesmaids look so proud. She had it coming is the understatement of the century. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And Pam's prize was a custom tie-dye job courtesy of a 2018 Cabernet. What's amazing is how perfect the plan was. No one could prove it was on purpose. It was just a clumsy accident, right? It's a terrible, unfortunate, perfectly aimed accident. Let us check out some of the top comments on this post because they are just as good as the story itself. User 1 wrote, "Not all heroes wear capes. Some carry glasses of red wine. Absolutely legendary." This comment understands the gravity of the maid of honor's sacrifice. She's the hero this wedding needed and deserved. Another one says, "I would have paid extra for the photographer to take a high-res photo of her face the moment it hit. Oh my God, yes. Imagine that photo. The shock, the horror, the dawning realization that her grand plan just got absolutely wrecked. That picture would belong in a museum. It would be my phone background, my laptop wallpaper. I'd have it framed on my wall. In this one, the bride is a strategic genius. She didn't get mad, she got even. And she did it without getting her hands dirty. Respect. This is it exactly. She outsourced the pettiness. She let her loyal soldiers handle the dirty work while she remained the graceful, happy bride. It's a masterclass in handling toxic family members. Honestly, what a satisfying ending. It's the perfect resolution. The villain gets her comeuppance in a very public, very visual way, and the hero gets to enjoy her wedding day. It's a modern-day fairy tale. This story will go down in the Reddit Hall of Fame for sure. What do you guys think? Is this petty revenge justified, or did the bride and her squad go too far? Let me know down in the comments. I'm dying to hear your take on this one. If you have a wild wedding story of your own, share it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the best stories the internet has to offer. See you in the next one. Alright, next up, we've got a story from our Pro Revenge that will make anyone who has ever worked a corporate job feel very, very good. This is for everyone who's ever been told they aren't essential or that their job could be done by anyone. Get ready, because this one is pure satisfaction. So, our hero worked for a small logistics company for 8 long years. They weren't just some employee, they were the architect. They built the company's entire tracking system from the ground up. It was their creation, their baby. They poured their heart and soul into making it work flawlessly. Then the inevitable happened. New management. A guy named Dave Strutson, wearing suits that cost more than our hero's car. You know the type all style, no substance, and with zero understanding of technology. Dave decides he's going to restructure. He calls our storyteller into his shiny office on a Friday afternoon, the classic time for corporate ambushes. He drops the bomb. We're restructuring. Your salary is too high for a support role, so today is your last day. A support role? After building the entire system, disrespect is just off the charts. To add insult to injury, Dave smugly adds, "We'll have the intern handle the servers." The intern. The poor, unsuspecting intern is about to be thrown into the deep end with a lead weight tied to their ankles. Now, our hero, being the professional they are, tries to warn him. They calmly ask Dave if he's absolutely sure about this decision. They explain that the servers require a special 2-factor authentication bypass, a bypass that only their personal hardware key can authorize. Without it, the whole system is a fortress with no door. But Dave isn't having it. He scoffs, tells our hero to stop making excuses, and has security escort them out of the building. He just fired the one person holding the keys to the entire kingdom and told them to stop making excuses. You can just picture Dave leaning back in his chair, feeling so proud of himself for saving the company a few bucks. He's probably thinking about the bonus he's going to get. He just trimmed the fat, right? Wrong. He didn't trim the fat. He amputated the company's central nervous system. You ever see a train wreck happening in slow motion? That's Dave. He thinks he's saving money, but he's actually just hit the delete button on his company's future. And the intern, that poor kid, didn't stand a chance. This is a masterclass in managerial incompetence. So, the weekend passes. Our hero is probably at home, maybe a little stressed, but also with a small knowing smile on their face. They know what's coming. Tick-tock, Dave. The clock is ticking. Monday morning arrives. 8 a.m. Business as usual. Then, 8:01 a.m. All hell breaks loose. Our hero's phone starts blowing up. It's a symphony of panic. Texts, calls, emails, everyone is freaking out. The system has locked everyone out. Every single employee, from the warehouse floor to the executive suite, is staring at a useless screen. No trucks can be dispatched. No packages can be tracked. The entire shipping database is a digital brick. The company is completely paralyzed. And who is leading the charge of panicked calls? None other than Dave himself. He calls, but he's not asking for help. He's screaming. He's accusing our hero of sabotaging the company. Sabotaging. You mean the company you kicked me out of? The one you said an intern could handle? The absolute audacity. This is the moment of truth. Our hero lets Dave finish his little tantrum, and then, with the calmest, most collected voice you can imagine, they deliver the checkmate. They say, "I'm not an employee anymore, Dave. You made that very clear on Friday. However, I can help. My consulting fee is $5,000 for the first hour and $1,000 for every hour after that. Since you seem to be in a rush, I'll need the first 5 hours paid up front." The consulting fee. The glorious, beautiful, I-wise an idiot tax. This is the ultimate alpha move. He's not just asking for money. He's establishing a new power dynamic. He's no longer the support role employee. He's the high-pre-assed, indispensable consultant. He's holding all the cards, and Dave knows it. You can almost hear the gears grinding in Dave's head. The fury, the humiliation, the dawning realization of just how badly he messed up. He has two choices. Let the company crumble while he tries to save face, or swallow his pride and pay the price for his arrogance. So did he pay it? You bet your sweet life he did. He had no other choice. Money was wired almost instantly. $5,000 for the first hour. And here's the best part. The absolute chef's kiss on this whole story. Our hero gets the confirmation of payment, probably logs in remotely from their couch, and taps a few keys. The entire process to unlock the system. It took 30 seconds. 30 seconds. They made $5,000 for 30 seconds of work. They got paid more in half a minute than Dave probably planned to save all year by firing them, all thanks to Dave and his brilliant restructuring plan. This story is a monument to knowing your worth. It's about what happens when arrogance meets competence. Our hero didn't just get revenge. They got paid handsomely for it and taught a valuable, very expensive lesson. So let this be a reminder to all the Daves out there. Be careful who you call non-essential. You might just find out they hold the keys to everything. What an incredible story. Just makes you feel good, doesn't it? Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a Dave at your job. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.